Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, what's up? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Continue to have an amazing week. Today is another discussion about Bitcoin. Now, typically, if you've seen any of the videos in the past, I like to enjoy a beer. Tonight, I am actually going to skip a beer. I'm going to have a little cocktail with you. So, if you can, cheers up with me. If not, well, I'll drink for you. So, my favorite, just a little bit of Tennessee whiskey. I'll do a double shot for myself. And it looks like I threw a little bit too much ice in there. So, we're going to have to chop at that. But a few things I want to discuss today. Just want to say that personally, I do spend a ton of time on YouTube watching Bitcoin content, just trying to gather as much information as possible. Listen, I'm 5, 6, 7, 8. Terrible at math is what I am. I'm 8 years into this, and I still learn something new about Bitcoin, about the ecosystem, every single day. There's not a day that has gone by since early 2016 that I have not studied something about Bitcoin. I'm either always on Twitter, always on YouTube, reading a book, scavenging through Reddit, or even what is very fun to do is look at the Bitcoin Talk forums and just read actual words that Satoshi had typed out. I find it very fascinating. It's fun. Today, I just went through a bunch of Twitter feeds, and I'm going to give you and supply you guys with some of that stuff that I found. Now, first thing that is really cool to acknowledge and notice is that 88% of the Bitcoin supply hasn't moved in the last 3 months. I think if you actually even looked at the course of a year, I think it's 65 to 72, and that might be even on the low end of Bitcoin supply hasn't moved. So what does this tell you about the ETF that's going to come out here? One, there's a ton of hodlers, right? OG hodlers, probably. If they're not OG hodlers, well, I'm sure they've definitely been hodling over the last 3 months. They've definitely been hodling over the course of this bear market. And what I do know is that they're not going to sell their Bitcoin for cheap. Same goes to the miners, right? I'm sure that BlackRock, Fidelity, all these other companies, they're going to have to pair up with miners to hopefully try to get them at a discount. But the miners are not going to sell at a loss, right? If miners get Bitcoin at $40,000 and the price goes to $20,000, they're not going to sell that unless they are absolutely in need of it. They want to gain a profit on that, right? So if they get it for 40, they're going to want to sell it at 50, 60, 70, above. And the same thing is going to happen with hodlers. Now, if you're a serious hodler like myself, you're probably not ever going to sell. And if you do, it's nowhere south of $1 million per coin. And they'll be happy to pay $1 million per coin. So Wall Street is going to have to really pump this up to even get the slightest amount of hodlers to sell their coins, so that these ETFs can have a 1-to-1 ratio, right? That's what they need, so that it doesn't end up like FTX, where they have this amount of Bitcoin and they don't actually have it in their reserves. That's what that 1-to-1 ratio means. Now, taking a step sideways in a different direction, one of the things that I like to talk about is gold, which, by the way, I do buy gold. Look, I got 99% of my money in Bitcoin. It's the healthiest place for it to be. I'm not in any serious need for it in the short-term future. All of the 98 to 99% of my money that is in Bitcoin is there for the long haul, right? So, what I will tell you with that is I do own silver. I do own gold. I do still trade stocks on a daily basis. I've got multiples of these 2.5 grams. By the way, if you're looking for gold, I use Acre Gold. They have subscription plans that you can buy on a monthly basis. I think as low as $25, $50, $75, $100, whatever you want to do. I buy gold every single month. But the difference between gold and Bitcoin, here's another Snapchat photo, right? Ready? Save it on your phone. Send it to me in 100 years. My kids will laugh at it. The difference between that is, for this, you need vaults, you need trucks, you need men, and you need guns to secure it. Otherwise, people can steal this off of you. People can go inside of a bank and steal it. If you got to transport it to another country, there's just so much involved with it, right? And it's a very risky scenario. You need a lot of manpower, guns, and all the other stuff that I just mentioned to keep gold safe. With Bitcoin, you don't. You need cold storage. I don't need any of that other stuff. Gold is confiscatable. The government can come and get it from you anytime they want to, like they did in 1971, where they made it illegal. They made Americans turn their gold in when they broke the dollar from the gold backing. That dollar, the reserve, right? Gold needs a third party to verify that it's real. Unless you have what is necessary to tell that this gold is real, the likeliness is you got to take it to somebody else. For me, for Bitcoin, I don't got to take it to anybody. The blockchain does it by itself, code, technology, and it's free. If you send me Bitcoin today, I know that it's real. I don't have to verify it. Gold is not very portable, like I was just telling you, right? If I had big old blocks, ounces of gold, and I was moving from America to Europe, I'm going to probably be with that gold every step of the way till I get to Europe. And I'm going to have all of those things that I was just talking to you about to help me get my gold there. I can carry $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin with me at the airport if I need to. Gold can't be sent electronically. Bitcoin can. Gold is not as easily divisible, right? If you have an ounce or even this 2.5 grams, I think this is worth about $170 right now, maybe $180 just for this 2.5. If I don't want to spend $180 in one purchase, I can't just shave some of this gold off. I can't cut this thing in half. Yeah, maybe I can melt it. That's going to take a long time. It's going to take tools, equipment. I might get hurt while doing it. But a Bitcoin? One Bitcoin? You can divide into 100 million pieces. Out of the 21 million Bitcoin that will ever exist, that's 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis. So the smallest factor of one Bitcoin is a Satoshi. That's 0.8 decimals over and a 1. That's one Satoshi. And I always tell people the good starting point for you is to get 1 million Satoshis. 0.01 is 1 million. 0.1 is 10 million. 0.5 is half of a Bitcoin, 50 million. So you want to give yourself small stacking goals. Shoot for that 1 million mark. Shoot for that 10 million mark. Shoot for the 30 million mark, the 50. Everybody should want to at least acquire one Bitcoin. And there's a lot of people who also don't understand the value that only 1 million sats, which in today's dollars is, I don't know, probably $500, $600. What 1 million Satoshis will do for you? Let's see what it is right now. It's gonna be nuts. So, and look, the first step, I'm not telling anybody to come in and just buy some Bitcoin. What I want you to do is just learn about it. And that is the rabbit hole itself, is when you learn about it, you want to buy Bitcoin. And it's a never-ending rabbit hole, right? Before I even knew about Bitcoin, and this is crazy because not a lot of people are like this, I was studying money, the Federal Reserve, how money's created, what central banks do around the world. I was big into Forex before I ever learned about Bitcoin. That's what drugged me here in the first place. That was my gateway, if you will, was the Forex market. And so, you know, you pick up and you learn about a lot of that in between there. This is not doing what I needed to do right now, so let's, oh, here it is. Okay, so 0.01 right now, a million sats for short, Satoshis. A million sats is only $350. For $350, and you hold and wait. Don't wait to buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin and wait. I like that. If you just buy that and wait, 4 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, a million sats is going to be extremely more than $451.93. I can guarantee you that. And to that, I'll take a sip. It's good stuff. Next part. And this is kind of funny. If you look at the chart of it, and I apologize, my computer is super slow. I want to be able to give you guys insane videos and throw all the charts up like I used to do back in the day. My computer's super slow. I got to buy another computer. Anytime I try to do any of that fanciness inside of the editing software, I do use Adobe Premiere, it just goes slow. It takes me 5 hours to do it, and exporting the video is even longer. So for now, I'm just keeping these straightforward videos. But if you were to look at the chart, from 2011 until 2023, Bitcoin is either the best performing asset of the year or the worst performing asset of the year. So, of course, Bitcoin runs in a cycle of 4 years, right? With the halving. So it's interesting. 2011, 12, and 13, best performing asset of the year. 11, 12, and 13. 14, worst performing asset. That's the bear market. 15, 16, 17, the best. 18, the worst. 19, 20, 21, the best. 22, the worst. 23, we are. Last time I checked was 2 days ago. Bitcoin was up 108% just for the year. And it is the best performing asset this year, as it has been 3, 6, 9, 10 years. 10 years out of the 15 that we're here for today. That's nuts. That's nuts. Okay? Now, this is pretty cool. We have officially mined 93% of the 21 million Bitcoin, leaving only 7% left. Now, when the ETF gets approved, there are only, at this current time, 55 million millionaires in the world. Not even every single one of those millionaires can buy a full Bitcoin. Just can't do it. There's 55 million millionaires, 21 million Bitcoin. It's just math. When you add the fact that the ETF gets approved, X amount of more millions of people all of a sudden want to acquire this asset, you're canceling out the rich people. If you get there before they do, the goal is to just accumulate as much as you can. So this next 7% that is left of Bitcoin is going to be a battle between who gets how much and how fast they get to gobble it up. Right now, 900 Bitcoin are minted every single day. Come March, that's going to drop down to like 430, something like that. It is going to be a war for people trying to accumulate this Bitcoin. Not to mention, the big corporations, the institutions, the ETF markets, they're going to want a big portion of that. And by the way, out of the 93% that is officially mined, I don't know, 19-something million coins, there's probably 6 or 7 million of those that are gone forever. Satoshi's got a minimum 1.2 million. Bunch of people have lost thousands, tens of thousands, right? So you add it all together, there's probably 5 or 6 million Bitcoin that are gone forever. Maybe lost on a hard drive, somebody passed away, they didn't give up their passwords. Satoshi's is one of them, like I mentioned. So out of the 21 million Bitcoin, minus 6, I told you I'm bad at math, what is that, 16? 16 million Bitcoin divided by 8 billion people on the planet right now. I think that's, each person will accumulate, if that were to evenly be spread out, 250,000 Satoshis per person. That's a quarter of that million sats that I was telling you you should acquire, not financial advice, for $351. You buy 1 million sats, you're ahead of the population by 3/4. It's just nuts. It's nuts. And look, it's been quite the journey over the last 8 years. Like I told you guys in my previous video, I learn a lot and I study every single day. There's something I'm always learning every single day. If you want to learn more, check out Michael Saylor. He's a little bit more IQ way the hell up here. So if you're a beginner, maybe don't start with Michael Saylor, but watch one video of his just to get inspired, just to figure out and hear his metaphors on what this does for the world. What Bitcoin Did is a great podcast. The person that I used to watch a lot back in the day was, why am I gapping on his name? Andreas Antonopoulos, Bitcoin OG. But he's a genius. He's tried to hack Bitcoin. That's what taught him that it is as secure and safe as it is. He was a hacker. He heard about this and thought it was a joke, thought that it wasn't true, that it couldn't be hacked, and tried it. After multiple failed attempts, he became a bull. Jack Dorsey, the ex-CEO of Twitter, big Bitcoin bull. Lynn Alden has an amazing book that she just wrote, not to mention thousands of videos on YouTube that you can learn so much from. Greg Foss talks about the debt spiral that America is in right now, and how it's mathematically impossible to get away from it. That is a big one, that'll blow your mind. That is a rabbit hole in itself. So the big thing I want to let you know here today is, I hope that you learn some more about Bitcoin. If you've been in for a while, if this was your first bear market, I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you use that time to the best advantage possible. I hope you're able to acquire as much Bitcoin as you were able to throughout this bull market, and you still got time. I just want to really push that education piece. So you guys let me know who you've been listening to, that you've learned a lot from in this ecosystem. And if you haven't heard about any of those people that I just mentioned, please go check them out. I think it'll be very beneficial for your time. And again, it's just a few of many rabbit holes that take you from where you start off and then where you end up in this Bitcoin. And let me show you this. This is kind of cool. I want to show you my freedom wall. Check this out. Of course, you got the American flag there, and you got the Bitcoin flag. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for me today. Hope you guys have an amazing night. Continue to have an amazing week. Continue to learn, grow, and develop, not only as a person, but also in this space. Appreciate you guys. Thanks. Hit that like button if you found this cool, informational, whatever, and subscribe for more future content. Appreciate you guys. Thanks. See ya. Peace.